Hi guys, so today's video is about a topic that is becoming increasingly more and more popular, and if it's not even a topic as such with people, it's a prevailing reality, and it's related to this sadness that I've been speaking about quite a bit lately. And I'm not a sad person. Generally, I'm full of life and I'm very buoyant, but the more I'm learning about this dimension, the sadness, I'm becoming more aware of it. I wouldn't say that I'm embodying it any more than usual, except for when I experience psilocybin, because you get closer to the dream reality, you get closer to the reality which everything tells you is the real reality, just a dream. And so I've been speaking about this, and I did a series of videos of 5 with Dom on Skype, and we touched on this sort of stuff, and he conveyed to me that he really feels a prevailing sadness. And I said, why is that? And he says, because I just don't get satisfaction from the people around me. They are just not soothing to the soul. And lots of people are thinking like this, and more now, because I'm touching on it, I'm getting comments from people who are like-minded. And so I'm really curious as to what it is. And one of my viewers sent me a link, and I'm going to put it down in the comments, the description. And it's a woman called Dolores Cannon. And she speaks about this a great deal, and she says that she is communicated with by an entity from the source, and this is just an experiment, a vacation, a game, a test, something of this nature, where we as spirits come to experience the earth reality. And on the earth reality, it's stated by her that there's quite a low vibration, and many people, when they get here, spirits, when they get here, they don't like it here, because they come from a place where the source is love, and this prevailing love and beauty is ecstasy, it's pure bliss. And so when we come to this earthly environment, we can seldomly touch on some of this ecstasy and bliss, and invariably it's fleeting and short-lived. And so we spend most of our lives longing to experience it again. And I don't know whether there's any reality about this stuff, and I'm not encouraging people to comment on this just through their belief system. If you know, if you've been to this prevailing oneness, if you've been on astral projections whereby you have communicated with higher entities, and you've felt and seen and experienced something, then I welcome those comments. But I want to avoid comments from people that just want to believe that, and just because they've read something, they think it's true. You know, this site predominantly is a philosophical site, and we have to discuss absolutely everything, and we really have to question belief and endeavour to find truth in the most obscure of crevices. But I've speculated before what this prevailing sadness is the longing to get back in the womb. Now, that could equally be as feasible, because we are originally created within this womb, within this bliss, within this warmth and tranquility, and then we have a shocking experience of birth, and we come out and it's this crazy world that we've got to deal with, and there's lessons upon lessons upon lessons, and frustrations and fear and pain and anxieties, coupled with a little bit of happiness and bliss, and it really is very, very confusing. So it stands to reason why people would just want to go back to that tranquility, to that simple life, because life in cities these days is far too complicated. I don't believe it's anything like as complicated if you live in small communities in the nature, because your day revolves around very, very similar things: hunting animals and preparing and cooking food, and then you have a little celebration now and again when you've got the time and inclination. And so you're not tempted and you're not confused by the massive information that we've got prevailing all around and indoctrinated into us. And so I think that is equally feasible. The wanting to get back into the womb, to get back into that pure bliss environment, it's every bit as valid, and it's very, very similar, isn't it, when you look at this spiritual thing. Oh, we've come here as a spirit to experience what it's like on earth, but deep down in our unconscious we just get this feeling that it's not right, and we want to escape it because of the complexity of this environment. And so it's all about escapism, and there's many ways in which we escape from ourselves within this reality, and we try it via many, many ways, and of course psychedelics and depressants and stimulants, all these variety of supplements and drugs and what have you. They give us certain avenues. We do it through being in nature, we do it through engrossing ourselves in music and art and laughter and things like that. But I'm going to be doing some more videos, and I'm only halfway through this hour-and-a-half video of Dolores Cannons, and it's saying all these things, that this theme that's prevailing. I've watched many videos of people who proclaim to be from the Pleiades. You know, this constellation, the seven sisters up in the sky, seven stars grouped closely together. In actual fact, no stars are grouped together because, you know, there's a depth to the space, and if they look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, looks like it's on one plane. Well, they're not, because they're millions of light years nearer or further away. So it's just illusory. And so when we look up into the sky and we say, oh, that's called Pleiades, and this is this constellation, well, it isn't a constellation, you know, because there's just millions of light years between them. And so even that isn't a reality. You see, what we do as a human race, we create. That's what we are. You know, we are gods. We create our reality. And even if we don't think that we create the bad things that come about, if you look at how your path in life has taken you to that eventuality, then you can see that there really is quite a lot of truth in this. I mean, if you consider that, you know, you've had a terrible car accident, well, I mean, if you was driving without undue care and attention, if you were speeding, then that could have been an attributory factor to it. If somebody just came out of the blue and you know, ran into you, then, you know, maybe it was something to do with you wasn't paying attention, or had you done something else, then you wouldn't have been there. You know, there's so many things we can think about. But it's just quite topical at this moment in time. The more we seem to be having a psychological paradigm shift, we're becoming more and more aware of all these things. But You see, this Dolores, she was talking about people who consult her for therapy. And she says in the old days, there used to be certain scenarios which people would always desire. For instance, they would always regress to previous lives. But she's saying what's happening now is that people, they're not regressing, but they are projecting themselves to the future, to going back to the source. And I just look at this logically and I go, well, look, we can look at this many ways, but if we look at it from the perspective, oh, well, that's because the whole world is waking up and now we understand that, you know, we come from somewhere else and we want to go home, you could say that. Or you could say that the thought, somebody brought that notion into our reality. And as soon as a new notion gets brought into a reality, then it catches on quite quickly, and you'll notice that that becomes the prevailing thought. It's the new theme. And so I'm suggesting that it isn't any more of a reality that people used to want to go back to the regression and now they want to project themselves into the future or go home. It's just the modern thought. And so when people have these thoughts, they think, yeah, that's it, that's what I want to do, that's what I want to create, because I am a creator. You are creators. And you may have noticed, if you're interested in UFOs, that in the past they all used to be saucer shaped, didn't they? And everybody's seeing flying saucers, and when anybody sees anything in the sky, oh, it's like cigar shape and it's silver and it's like a saucepan and all this business. But now, when anybody's talking about these things, it's always triangular shape. You know, it's the stealth fighter or bomber shape. You know, because we've got this new reality in our domain. It's the stealth. It's a triangle shaped craft. And you see it on Star Wars, you see it in our stealth fighters, and of course everybody's seeing black triangular shaped UFOs, you know, with lights on. And I'm thinking, really, you know, has there been this evolution in spacecraft? It's quite possible that now they are all this stealthy variety, but that would only be the case, you see, if we were creating those. Because it's such a short period of time, and it wouldn't be aliens all of a sudden coming with a new design. That's too preposterous. You know, over a 50-year period, all of a sudden aliens are now flying around with the latest model, when they come from millions of light years in the future. No, that doesn't make sense, does it? So what I try to do in my videos, people, is help you think, help you apply a rational thought to these things. And so, you know, I look at woo-woo and I look at the reality, and you know, I try to decipher, you know, what it's all about and where our thoughts derive from, based on what we've got going on this domain. And it just seems to me that this business about everybody now feeling lonely and want to go back home, it could very well just be a fantasy. You know, we look up in the stars and, you know, we imagine this and we imagine that. You see, in the old days, most people feel stupid about mentioning this, but since the advent of the internet, then, you know, more and more people are coming out with bizarre notions and imaginations and visions and all this, and many more people are feeling more inclined to do the same. Do you not think it could be that? Just our very, very vivid imagination. We create everything. Why aren't we creating that? Just the same as we created rockets and airplanes and bicycles, you know. So I'm up to my 15 minutes, guys. Talk later.